Good morning. Welcome to Lieutenant Commander J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson talk show on this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday morning, October the what? The 23rd, 2023. Welcome. Today, we're supposed to get the final results of the voting from the National Election Commission. Is this coming through today? They told us it was going to happen yesterday. It didn't happen yesterday. They're saying today. So let's look out for it today. But initially, we heard it was today. So we don't know how it came out to be yesterday. That's why I kept asking my correspondent in Liberia, Samuel Wilker, whether it was really yesterday or today. So let's bring him on. Sam, how are you this morning, my brother?
Good morning.
Yeah,
Morning, Ron.
how things in Monrovia this morning, my brother?
Monrovia is even Liberia is kind of quiet and waiting the final result today. We thought it would have been yesterday, as announced, but then I was surprised. They said today. So we're waiting to see what it will be announced today or tomorrow. The final should be today.
So what's all this situation going on in the country, man? All this talk about threats of war and violence and I mean, Front Page Africa is not really bringing all this news you're giving me of all these things that go on in the country. So is Front Page Africa trying to sift through the news and not let us know what's actually happening in the country? Because what you tell them in the country sounds terrible, man. People bringing warlords in, mercenaries in, people talking about voting on ethnic lines. I mean, what all this tribalism coming in this country from?
If you saw what the videos I sent you, it means that Liberia's fragile peace is being threatened. You hear ex generals, in fact, they were members of the armed forces of Liberia that brought mayhem to this country. They are threatening the kinsmen of killing him only because he's supporting Boakai.
Yeah,
It means that
what all the thing about General Butnick? What his revival in this country and all this thing about killing him and bringing warlords and all kind of murderers in the country to chase this one guy. What's wrong, man? What's wrong with our country and people? What's wrong?
Butnick from Graduate, he's from the Crown ethnic tribe. And this crime group, this Graduate County, has never supported Unity Party. Because most of the people associated with Unity Party, were close to the actual party. It was because of this 1985 election that brought those downfall. So the Graduate people do not elect people from the Unity Party, or from the Ellen Block, or from the Joseph Boakai end. So whoever supports Boakai is the enemy. There's no more of a democratic opponent. They call it enemy. You see, from the video, they are threatening to get rid of Butnick. And Butnick, according to him, at the TRC, he said he killed over 20,000 people in Liberia during the war. And he was one of those big guys, those big generals who killed us during the April 6th.
But you know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We followed the war. I mean, we suffer from it too. Those two guys killed a lot of people. And Nathan Bly, right? That his real name, right?
Milton Bly. Yeah, Milton Bly.
But you see, Sam, that's why I talk about Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. They will not betray those people. Ellen slept with Doe and all these people and betrayed them. Ellen and her sister, Jenny. Sam, all my security boys told me All the boys told me they came and told the whole story to me. When I was in Liberia the last time, the guy related the whole story to me. They sat there and told me the chest in the guy, and son, you know what funny about the whole thing? These people really think our country running on Congo country bullshit. Because when I go to the country, the people that tell me things, they're not Congo boys. The people that serve in the security forces that I work with, that know what I stand for. As soon as they sit with me, they start telling me, Chesson, no man, no God, they do this shit, they do that shit. And they tell me, they're not people who I sit with every day and eat with every day, that people I work with. The people that know of me and my integrity. You see, I said that one of the good things that blessed me, I served in the government before I left the country. So at least those guys that know me from the past, they know who I am. I'm not fagon. I don't flip-flop. I will not be with you today cussing John tomorrow. Then when things happen, I leave you, go to John and start cussing you. Then things happen, I go to Peter and start cussing John. I'm not that kind of useless Liberian man. I stand on principles. If I don't like it, I don't like it. You ain't gonna make me change my mind because you my pa, my brother, my sister, my cousin. If it ain't good, it ain't good. And you see, some of those guys know where I stand. You know, I'm not a new being when it comes to Liberian politics and Liberian society. You know, I'm a leader of my society. I'm a leader of my community right here in Rhode Island. So you go tell the people, say, oh, let's do this. And they involve me, they will say, no, Chesson will not do it. They will tell you straight. They will tell you straight, Chesson will not do it. Because they know where I stand. I've been here with them all these years, over 30 years. And I've been the same way for 30 years. I ain't going to change. I ain't going to flip-flop. If I'm for you, I'm for you. If I'm not for you, I'm not for you. And I'll give you my reasons. But you see, Sam, one of the things I wanted us to deal with this morning is Liberia's situation. You know, I always tell you that our situation stems not only from our political realm, from our whole societal living. It stems from that. And if you see my post this morning, I've been talking about my grandfather. I'm a Christian. I ain't gonna lie to say I'm not Christian or I lukewarm. I tell you exactly where I stand. I'm a Christian. I don't play this thing about African gods and African God or African gods. I'm not into that shit. I am a Christian. I am an African. Christianity is not for the white man. Jesus Christ is a real God. If he wasn't a real God, I wouldn't be here. And for the mere fact that I'm here, you better believe that Jesus Christ is real. And I'm not telling this to convince you. I'm not telling this to convert you. I'm not telling this for people to follow me or think that I'm some religious person. When you talk about religious in the connotation of what people today think about religion, okay? I know there's a God, and I know there are many gods, sub-gods, like Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is one of the youngest gods in our age. He came in our time. We got books and documentation of Jesus coming and his transformation into Godhood. Nobody has spoken to me in my early age but Jesus. When my aunt was dying on my 16th birthday, that's when my aunt died, the woman who raised me. I was in the room with her. I was looking at her. I was in another bed. We had two beds in the room. She was in her bed. She was sick. On my birthday, all the while she raised me. She was never home on my birthday. January 16 was when the Eastern Star of Liberia had their convention. My aunt was never home. She was a past grand princess or grand princess or overlord princess. She was everything in the Eastern Star. So when it came for convention, my aunt had to go. She was never home. She would fix my cake. She would fix everything for me and leave it. And with my card and everything, when I woke up, she gone. I would not see her for 1 week because the convention was 1 week and was never in. Even it was in Monrovia, it was somewhere where they had to go and stay. They couldn't come home. So I don't know when, but as long as I knew myself, my aunt was never home for my birthday until the day she died. She and I were in the room together. She was in the bed across from me. And I was laying there looking at her. I don't know what I was thinking about. I was 16 years old on my 16th birthday. I don't know what I was thinking about. I was looking at her. But then I went to turn around and face the other way. And just as I turned my head, the voice said to me, "Your mom is dying." I opened my eyes. I jumped out of the bed. I ran to my aunt. And soon as I shook her, she woke up. She said, "Why you can't let me rest? I'm so tired. I've taken care of you for 16 years. Let me rest. Go to your mom." And that's what she said to me. That was the last thing she said to me. Who was that voice that told me that my mom was dead? That the voice that has guided me all my life. So when I talk about Jesus Christ, I'm not talking about something frivolous. I'm talking something that's real, that I know exists, or I wouldn't be here. And it's not because of that. That was in my minority. I told you, we got two lives. We got minority before 18 years old, and we got majority. So I was coming to my majority. I was ending my minority. I was 16 years old then. But that didn't guarantee me anywhere in Christ's realm. It was just to let me know that he had been there with me. You know, when I heard that voice, I knew that from my birth, Christ had been there with me, and he was with me. But that didn't guarantee that he would have stayed with me in my majority. Because when you're in your minority, you are guided by angels. Your mind is maturing. When you get in your majority, when you're over 21, when you're man and you can think and you already know right from wrong and you know all the implications of life, you're in your majority. You have to make your choice. That's when you really have to make your choice of life. Am I a Christian? Am I a Muslim? Am I an atheist? Am I going to practice and what my people practice? Animism? Pray to any God, anything that has life? Everything got life, man. Everything God makes has life. The woods, the trees, you see the trees moving, everything got life. And when we
They're living.
do, huh?
I said the trees are living.
Yeah, because they call them elemental spirits. Those are spirits. The trees, everything are spirits because they got life. Why do you think our indigenous people pray to the trees, to the rocks, because the spirits that control them may not be in the trees itself, but they're in the wind, they're in the area, they're in the earth. They are spirits. They're everywhere. They've been there before God. Remember, study your Bible. God told us before when he came, there was darkness. He didn't tell us what was in the darkness. There was darkness. The world was dark, just like the atmosphere, just like the space. Space is dark. You go up to space, no light up there. William Shatner told us that. Captain Kirk, when he came back from space, he told us, he said, down here is light, up there is dark. So they're all around us is darkness. We don't know what's in the darkness. But when God came, he said, let there be light. And earth was formed. The filaments and the elements of the earth created light on earth. And that when Jesus Christ came, he didn't come in the darkness, he came in the light. That way he's the light. Because we didn't have Jesus Christ in the darkness. We didn't know about Jesus Christ. We didn't exist in the darkness. So when God created light, Jesus came. So he's one of the newest God that we know. He's the God we know. We don't know the gods of the darkness. Those are the elemental gods we pray to. Because once the light came in the darkness, that didn't kill the darkness. The darkness just went into light, into hiding. But the darkness is still there. Those are the elemental spirits and different things our indigenous people pray to. So we don't know them. But that does not mean that Jesus Christ does not exist. And to prove that he exists, he told us that in his Father's house, many mansions, there was no place there for us. He didn't say, I will go there to a place that will prepare for us. There was no place in heaven for us. Jesus had to go to prepare a place for us. Listen to his teaching. He said, I'm going to prepare a place for you, that where I am, you may be also. So the ancient gods exist. The ancient elemental gods exist. The gods of the darkness exist. We don't know any darkness. But I'm saying all of this to say that we cannot deny it. We have to look at ourselves because we know from our Christian teachings that charity begins at home. And before I can even go forward into teaching people about what Liberia is all about, I got to start from my own home. Why my home is significant to Liberia today. And many Liberian people know or heard of my grandfather, Benjamin Green Freeman. Benjamin Green Freeman was Speaker of the House of Liberia. If you read the book by Richardson called Liberia's Past and Present, you see my grandfather's picture in there. Huh? You read it,
Yeah,
right?
no.
Yeah, you see it's
Yeah,
a red.
yeah.
You see
Every man, yeah.
you see my grandfather's picture in there. You see his writings in there. And from his writings, my grandfather was a Tubman loyalist. He was loyal to Tubman. He served Tubman. And we know that even my aunt, my stepmother, Leona Chesson, told us one time we were sitting with her, and she was telling us, she said, you know something? Tubman was a pastor in the church. We said, whoa, you're joking. She said, yeah. Tubman was a preacher in the church. He used to preach in the church. She said, and when Tubman became president of Liberia, he told the people in the church, I'm president of Liberia no more. I'm president of Liberia. I cannot be president of a country and be pastor of a church. This was a wise man. Right there, God respected him. Because he knew if he had to be president, there were things he had to do that didn't coincide with his religious belief as a pastor, as a teacher of the faith. It's different when you're a teacher than when you're a follower. You see, we who follow Jesus Christ, we are learning. We are pursuing a path. But when you step to the path to be a teacher, you got to separate yourself because you are telling us that you know enough of Jesus Christ's teaching to impart it to us, to serve as an example to us. Not only are you a teacher, you are an example to us. So through your ways, we learn Christ's ways. And this was the problem. So Totman told the people, he said, I can't be pastor no more. Because there will be things I got to do as a president, as a pastor, I preach against. One of the things is he might have to sign death warrants. He may have to condemn people to death. As a pastor, you are against that. You are against taking any kind of life. But as a president, that's your constitutional duties. You can forego it and say, I'm not doing it, because you don't have to kill people. That what our Totman did. They said Totman, after he signed the first execution, he saw the people he killed. They started appearing to him. So he said, no more. I ain't killing people no more. I ain't signing no more death warrants. Huh? That what you heard too,
But
right?
why did he appear to Toba? Yeah, I heard that myth. Why did he appear to Toba?
You don't know that because when Toba killed those people that were almost at the end of his reign, after Toba killed Obi, it wasn't even fair. Because Obi had been in jail for so many years. Obi had almost done his time. And yet with these new killers coming up. So who did you kill? Who did you kill? Did you kill the guy who has been there for almost 20 years? Or the new bees that's coming in? Huh? Who did you kill? So all of that was questionable. Then right after that, we had a coup. Right? And we don't know what happened in Tower Mansion because you know people were saying the mansion was haunted, all kind of things. We don't know it.
Oh, that, yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah, people never stayed in the mansion because so much blood was spread in the mansion. Okay, but Totman never served as pastor no more. That's why I look at George. We are only boys. They won't be president and pastor. They don't understand the implications. But Totman did. Maybe that was God bless Totman to stay there in there so long. You see, but my grandfather was one of his staunch supporters. And my grandfather was Speaker of the House. I told you, my grandfather brought all the indigenous people. But God did not approve of what my grandfather and Totman them wanted to do to Liberia. I'm just putting everything together in my mind now. Nobody told me this, my people. But from all the evidence I've been gathering, I know what Totman and my grandfather then planned for Liberia, and God did not approve of it. Just like George Weah them, they wanted to form their cult. One of the reasons why I know is because I told you, after the man told me, I met this man who told me about my grandfather, who asked me who I think killed my grandfather, and he was alluding to Totman. And I said, well, I don't know. Then I left and I went home. And a few weeks after, my grandmother mysteriously just said to me, you know, one of the things your grandfather always used to worry about when he came home was that Totman always used to say to him, are you a real man? Are you a real man? So we, the Liberian people, know that when somebody say to you, are you a real man? They're asking you, do you have juju? Do you have spiritual power? Do you have the juju power behind you? And that what Totman was asking my grandfather. He wasn't asking my grandfather, are you a Christian? Or do you love Jesus? No, you were asking my grandfather, do you have African juju? Are you strong on the African side? And it used to bother my grandfather. So initially, when I heard it, I thought Totman killed my grandfather. He may have done that because my grandfather was poisoned. But the fact is that I thought my grandfather was against the juju and all of that. But then Jesus showed me the other side. I woke up this morning with a revelation from Jesus Christ that my grandfather may have died because he's going to succumb to Tottenham. Always asking him, are you a real man? Are you sure? Because my grandfather was a Christian. And with Tottenham continuously asking, are you a real man? Are you strong? And Tottenham was, I talked to him about juju and all of that, so he succumbed. And when with Tottenham, and all of them were under the sycamore tree, like George we are them right now. That's the same thing George we are and all his boys doing, going to the voodoo so that all of them can be one to win. And that's what Tottenham wanted in the olden days. So all of them could come together and win and rule Liberia forever. That were their plans. And my grandfather went along with that. And by going to Tottenham to join his cult of leadership, he forsake his promise to Jesus Christ to honor him and love him. Why do you think my grandfather died, Sam? People say my grandfather died mysteriously almost 50, 60 years ago. Nobody talk about my grandfather. His name died. His family destroyed. All the people in Kirisburg destroyed. Kirisburg owed my grandfather home. My grandfather had a mansion in Kirisburg, a modern mansion. Sam, when I saw my grandfather's house, I couldn't believe that was a house in Kirisburg. It was a mansion. How did my grandfather just die? His people turned against each other. The people in Kirisburg hate each other, Sam. They're not living their family. His whole family, my grandfather's family, all of them got destroyed. They got cursed because of that. And I woke up this morning after Jesus revealed it to me. I prayed for him because I never heard anybody pray for my grandfather before. I never heard anybody in my family pray for him before, that God would forgive him if he made any mistake. Because you can't promise God, you can't play with Jesus, Sam. That's why I watch my people. I said, we can't grow. We can't hold because you cannot play with Jesus. People think Jesus are following God. If you don't want to be Christian, don't be Christian. Don't go to the church. You gotta impress me or anybody that you Christians stay away from the church due to your juju. But when you come into the church and you think you're deceiving people, you're deceiving yourself. And this is where we are. Look at our president, vice president, like we were talking about, the people must they're voting on tribal lines and all these kind of things.
Oh, lying.
What does that tell you? That tells you something wrong with the mentality of our leaders. They into their juju and voodoo thing. Ellen Johnson said he was into it too. And she brought the Queen of Sheba, the juju woman, into Liberia. People think this joke, you can go in the church and say you're Christian, then you come with juju people. It can't work like that, my people. Nobody's stopping you from watching your juju gods or watching your elemental gods, but don't screw with Jesus Christ. He is not a frivolous God. He is not a God that you can fool with. He is real. He exists. You know, this is what killing our country. You can't serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. You must choose. You want to be a Christian, you can't practice juju. You can't go into juju realm. And don't let anybody fool you and tell you Jesus Christ is not an African God. To hell with that. Jesus Christ is a God. He is the most powerful God that exists. Why? He is a peaceful God. He is a God of peace. He will not tell you go kill other God. He will not tell you to spill blood for power or to rise. No, that's not Jesus' forte. That is dark side. You know, if you want immediate power, go for your juju and things. But Jesus' power is not, it's immediate, but you don't see it. You don't see it because it has depths. It has depths. If Jesus is for you, he's not going to start at the top. No, he's going to start fixing you from the bottom. You will not see it, but the way he's fixing you, when you achieve things at the top, nothing at the bottom can shake you. You are solid. That will make Christians solid when they rise to the top because everything at the bottom has been tightened. All your enemies have been crushed. All your bad luck have been removed. Then when you rise to the top and sit, nothing can bother you. You are secure. So some people, let me tell you, that were, I'm just understanding the mystery of Jesus Christ. And it amazes me. I'm not a rich guy, but I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. I don't want to be rich, you know, to the point where like Elon Musk and all the people all in the news for their wealth and things like that. Why you? I'm not that kind of guy. You know, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a leader. Yes, I'm blessed. All leaders are blessed with wealth. But that's not a dream to be the most wealthy or the most powerful. No. Once you're a leader, you have access to wealth. God will bless you with wealth, everything. But you can't be greedy. You can't be greedy. You can't want to suppress other people to get their wealth. You know, you can't be jealous. God gave everybody their portion. You know, when you get your portion, be happy with it. Pray for what you want, and you'll get it. But when you get it, don't start looking at other people's things and say you want that, you want that. No. You see, one thing about let me tell you one thing about the white man too. People talk about the white man, but I dealt with a lot of white men. And one thing about if the white man is fair with you, he will ask you what you want. He will ask you. You say, hey, but what you want? And if he's in the power now, he will ask you what you want. And you tell him what you want. Say, hey, I want this and that. Okay, you got it. Don't go and change your mind when you go home now and you see what you want. You could have asked for more. You got gotten far more, but you didn't ask for it. They may ask you what you want. You told him what you want. Then you go home, you sit there, you think about it, you say, damn, I should have asked the guy for more. Then you call him back, you say, my man, I want more. Right there. You lost. Because I mean, when I look at you the same way no more. You know, because he asked you, what do you want? And you told him. You told him what you wanted. And you were finished with it. You're finished with that meeting. That means you told him what you wanted. You can't go back and bring the old things that you discussed in a new meeting. You can't do that. Then the man know that you're not stable. He can't keep talking with you and keep making a movement with you because you go home and sleep or something and somebody tell you something and you come and change it before him. You're not consistent. You're not focused. You're not stable. Right there, I know I can't trust you. Because when you and I would talk, you would go home and come back the next day with some kind of bullshit again. And this is how Liberian people are, Sam. We sit in a meeting, discuss everything, we vote and all. We decide everything. We go home. We come back the next month. Somebody will say, oh, I wasn't in the meeting that discussed that thing again. Why would we go back to discuss that thing? You weren't there. Tough luck. You weren't there. You should have been there. And these are the principles the white man deal. Look at George Weah, and they come to say one thing, they're not citing, they don't do their research, they don't do their background search, nothing. They just come and talk like fools. Then they go back and find out, oh, we should have done this, we should have done that, we should have. Then they come back to the people, oh, let's reconvene the meeting and do update. Right there, the people know you idiots. You're not competent. Because when you come to court, you got to come with all the evidence. If you watch Judge Judy, they got Judge Judy in Liberia. Huh?
Judy?
Judge Judy, a woman.
Yeah.
Judge Judy.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
It's a TV show where a judge, a woman, the judge. It's a real court case.
It's a movie? No. I haven't seen that movie.
No, it's not a movie. What they do in America now, they got real court on TV. People carry their cases to court on TV.
No, not that. We don't have it.
Okay, they got one woman in America called Judge Judy. She's very famous.
No, we don't have it.
She's one of the biggest TV judges. You know, when you go before her case and everything. So she one of the people, and she always talking about when you come to court, come with all your evidence. Don't come to court and they ask you, you got evidence on that case. You say, oh, I left it home. So what? You can't go home and get it. You're in front of the court. And all the cases for 30 minutes or 20 minutes or 15 minutes, she does all the cases. So those are small claim cases. You know, small claim court, you can only get certain amount. You can't get the amount you want. So there are courts in America called small claims. They for cases from $1,000 to $2,000. Somebody owe you $1,000, $2,000. You take them to small claims. That means that the court will not hear a big case. You just come in to say, Your Honor, that man owe me $2,000. Then the judge will say, what kind of evidence you got? Where all the receipts you got? Where all the documents you got? You bring all the receipts, the judge look at it. If your receipts correct, the judge award you the $2,000. They call it small claims court. Okay, it's not a big case. You just go there to do your case right there and end it. It's in America. But because it's
fast track.
Yes, it's fast track for small claims like $2,000, $3,000. In America, the limit is $5,000 for the show. In Rhode Island, here is $2,000. You small claim is between $1,000 and $2,000. On the TV, is $5,000. Okay, so you can't get more than $5,000. Even if you carry the case to court and your case is worth $20,000, in that court, you can only get $5,000, and at the end of the case, you can't go nowhere else to take that case. The case will end right there. But the limit you can get is $5,000. So if you want your case to end quick, if you don't want to be in court for 2-3 weeks, you want it to end in 30-20 minutes, you go to small claims court. But then the court will hear your case. But all you know is the most amount you can get from that court is $5,000. So that's small claims court. And when you go to the court, you can't get more than the amount that you're supposed to get. So that's how these things function. You know? And in relation to what I was talking about. So our whole society needs restructuring, Sam. Down back to the nitty-gritty. Everything needs restructuring in our society. And on the side of religion, as I was saying, it doesn't matter which religion you have. But you got to be sincere to yourself on every level. On every level. You got to be sincere to yourself. And for me, that's where I come from. With my people and my family, Because when charity begins at home, you have to take the availability and the opportunity to evaluate yourself and your family. Because it is necessary in our society that we get this right. Our society is small. Our community is small. We cannot continue dwelling on deceitfulness and lies and treachery. And it doesn't get us nowhere. It doesn't advance our mental capacities. It doesn't open doors to us. You know, we keep treading in our own mess. And these things got to change. You know? But for my people and my family, that's where we are. You know, my grandfather opened the door to his own demise because that's their plans for Liberia was not what God had for Liberia, for one group of people to rule Liberia forever. That were their plans. Why you think Totman stay in jail, in power for 20 years? That were their plans. When Totman were going to move from power, either Ben Freeman or one of their children or somebody else were going to assume the power to stay in, I think, in the realm. It wasn't about Congo or country. It wasn't about family. It was just about the boys. We all of us we talk about that same thing in college, Banana, you, all of us. We talk about the same plans. About a few of us coming together, controlling the military, controlling the politics, controlling everything, and keeping it intact for life. Like Russia and the other countries. And that's why I told Banana, you and them. I told them, I said, no, it's not good for our country. That's why I didn't join them. That's why I didn't join Charles Taylor them. It's not good for our country. So the city my grandfather then tried to do under Totman. God didn't want it. They started killing each other the same way. That was my grandfather got poisoned. It's not good for our country. The CDC want to do. Stay and take over power and stay in power for life. It's not good for our country.
It would be the biggest mistake ever they made.
But Sam, it's not good for our country. We are one people, one nation. George Weah then said it too. So all of us family, yes, we are family. That's why we have to let the law prevail in our country, or else families will get hurt. Some family will benefit over the other families. It's not right. It's not
Problem
right.
coming.
Yes, for a small country like ours, it's not right. My grandfather and Totman then wanted to stay in power for life. Dawa Totman stayed in power for 27 years. But look at where it brought us. It brought us destruction. It brought us evil. It didn't bring us good. I don't care who killed my grandfather. The initial plan for Liberia was not good. And many of us had that plan. And that's why I told Ben and you and them, I said, no, we can't do it. For our democracy, we got to be sincere. We are Christians. Deception is not in our realm. That's not our forte. We can't be deceitful. That other people, God, they don't take that. That's not our God. We follow our democracy. This is the blessing that God gave us. God enlightened us to be able to form our own country. In the midst of darkness, Liberia was founded just like the world. In the midst of darkness, earth exists. In the midst of darkness, Liberia was founded to bring light, not deception, not lies, not treachery, not betrayal. And this is what Totman and Ben Freeman then wanted to do. You see, but when you come under the Christian realm and you make promises to God in your majority, as a man, not as a child, when you become a man and you make promises to God, and God blesses you based on those promises, you can't turn back. You can't flip flop. You have made that connection and it's been accepted. You can't break that connection. You break that connection, God will punish you. And that's what God did to Ben Freeman. Ben Freeman was a God. He was blessed by God. He went and brought all the chiefs together. All the chiefs of Liberia followed Ben Freeman. They agreed to him. He brought them. He said, well, Yochum Tutma is the man. Then he himself go follow Tutma into making juju to lead the country forever. Why you want to do that? That what God revealed to me. That what God revealed to me last night. And I prayed for my grandfather because it made sense. My grandfather was loyal to Tutman. He loved Tutman. And for him not to be recognized for over 50 years as one of the top leaders of Liberia, he had to be punished. That's a punishment. And for Liberian people not to recognize that, that's a punishment. And we are suffering from this same thing. And God told me this morning, he said that this people won't stay in power forever. This is what destroying Liberia. People think they can rule our country forever. They can come and lie to our people and just rule and just deceive us with election. We say 2 terms, then people go to 3 terms, then the other African leaders doing. They say they will stay in power for 2 terms. Then at the end of the 2 terms, they change it to 10 terms for open. That the same thing Tutman did. That the same thing Tutman did in Liberia. And God punished Tutman, my grandfather, for that. Because that wasn't what he wanted for Liberia. For one group of people to stay in power forever. We got to change our mentality. We got to change our mentalities into a collective mentality where we be for the best of our country, not for the best of Liberians or groups. Dukpa Koranda talk about that. My brother Duk, I got your message. He said Liberia for self or Liberians for Liberia. Which one? That's what destroying our country. Loyalty, patriotism, truth, justice. Those are the things that are destroying us when people want to stay in power for life. Power becomes a thing of greed and not a thing of changing our country, uplifting our people, and setting our children right for the future. So I hope we learn from this lesson, man. The same thing that destroyed my grandfather, the same thing that destroying our nation today is when people think that they can change the will of God to their own will for their own benefit and not for the benefit of the masses of the people of our country. Sam, you got anything to close so we can go?
Yeah, nothing much to say. As we expect the result today, we us, all that brings we come in spite of all the threats of war and killing one another. Let us remain calm and see what comes next. That brings all we have. And so we expect to behave as a civilized nation But if you continue to go backward, I mean, nobody will come to help you. You know, you're gonna be a level-headed person to know that this country indeed needs real peace. Sense of war and all that is not called for. So all I gotta say for Liberia today, my people, let us remain calm and accept whatever result comes. Thank you, Lord, for the day. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, Sam. Um, well, my people, before I leave, the two major things we discussed this morning, as Sam said, the situation in our country. You know, wow, the situation in our country. The situation in our country. Well, we have peace today. We don't know what it will be like tomorrow. But I hope that the second part I talk about, my grandfather and my family, why I'm re-emphasizing the point that charity begins at home. That for us to change our country, we must start in our homes. We must evaluate our families. For all of us educated men that always wonder what's wrong with our family, we got to pray so God can reveal it to us like he revealed it to me this morning. Because I always pray, why my family like this? You know, especially my grandfather family. You know, I never knew my grandfather. But since I met my grandfather family, we've been so divided. His children so divided among each other. You know, they're so negative toward each other. You know, and the property is there. My grandfather's children and family is supposed to be living. Instead of that, I don't know what's wrong, man. Until God revealed it to me this morning. You know, my grandfather chose to join Tutman them to rule Liberia for life than to serve him. That wasn't the will of God for people to rule Liberia for life at their own will. No, 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 no. And that's the same thing all of us grew up with. Benani, Yuri, all of us. That would they just ripped our country off. Charles Taylor and all of them. And they need to go to jail because it's wrong. It's not right. We gotta be men of law. We gotta be men that stand by our words. When we say this, we mean it, and we will show that it happens. We can't be flip-flopper that we got Fagon among us. People that Fagon, they bring disgrace to our society and our politics. Because look at Fagon. You hear him talking about Joseph Walker, then you hear him talking about George Weah, then you hear him talking about Benin Yuri. I mean, he's just a useless man, Eugene Fagon. And these are the people that bring shame and disgrace to our society that make us flip-floppers, liars, don't know where we stand in life in our society. But this cannot be our curse. This cannot be. Because we cannot grow up as men and women who won't violate our laws to gain power and stay in power for life. It can't be our mission. It can't be all that we have to give to our country. Our country deserves better. All of us got to support our democracy. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's our only thing that we hope to create fairness, to create justice, a sense of justice, a sense of equal opportunity for all our people. Yes, we got 5 fingers. All of them are not equal, but all of them are free. All of them can move individually and do things on their own. They are equally equal. And that's how society got to be. All of us can't have the same status, but all of us can find happiness in our own areas. Do you know your area? Do you know your area? Aluta continua. My class is done for the day. Take heed and govern yourselves accordingly. God does not come down to talk to us. He gives us messengers to guide us and lead us. And you cannot follow every messenger. You got to look at their track record of service, of truth, of justice, of loyalty. Don't just follow anybody. Don't just follow anybody. Know yourself and know your leader. Charity begins at home. Aluta! Continua. Have a good day.